Brodes Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. This is the More on Eagles Giants podcast, and I've spent the last 24 plus hours really trying to find optimism. And I want to apologize because the last thing I'm going to do is put on some brave face and lie to everybody and make it seem like I'm more excited than I am for this football team to play every Sunday. I have major concerns. And now A.J. Brown is no-showing with the media again. Make it 2 times in a row. I have nothing good to say. I have nothing nice to say. Well, an 11-4 team that I'm told by the optimistic fans that, hey, their record's 11-4. Stop being so mean. Stop reaching for something that's not there. They're 11-4. Well, your biggest weapon and your number one wide receiver is actively admitting that I don't even have good things to say about our team right now, so I'm just not going to answer any questions. I despise that. Now, also, here's Devontae Smith. Let's take a look at what your number 2 wide receiver is saying publicly.
11 wins, we're not playing good football right now. As an offense, we're not where we want to be. So, I mean, I'm not satisfied. Yeah, we got 11 wins. I'm not happy. It needs to be better for what I want to do, what everybody else in here wants to do, where we want to be. We're nowhere near that, so no, I'm not happy.
I love that answer. Love that answer from Devontae. And I originally saw the quotes, and I just read them out loud on the instant reaction pod. Then I watched it. Then I saw the visual from NBC Sports Philadelphia, and I heard the tone in his voice. He is not okay with what's happening. He had a stank face involved. Like, it's sick. It's sickening what's happening with this offense right now. And that's the right way to process this. What the team is doing is not good. So I have a list of quotes from fans, from people that, are going back and forth and interacting with me on social media, and a ton of it I can't comprehend. So I'm going to read them verbatim, okay? Now, just to put a bow on the whole 11 wins thing, well, you're really just being blinded by the win total. In the beginning of the season, you could apply, survive in advance, and I can wrap my head around it. But once the 49ers game happened, something changed. Something headed in the wrong direction, essentially, with your leader. Nick Sirianni is now saying that he knows he has to tame himself and he has to be different on the sidelines and he can't let the emotions get too high. This is the leader of the crew. Well, no wonder why maybe some others are getting out of hand, and no reason some other guys are having a difficult time bottling up their emotions. The one who's leading the crew can't even do it on the sidelines. But the 11 wins ever since San Fran, this was a new chapter for this team. And I think everybody in that NovaCare complex is starting to ask the question, does Nick Sirianni have what it takes to get us back together, to fix the cracks in the foundation? Is there something he can do when it got really, really bad? What was happening early on when they were winning, I don't know if that applies. Actually, I do know. It doesn't apply to the current mode of this team because something significant happened and they haven't been able to bounce back yet. Once Nick Sirianni pushes the buttons to really bounce back, and when I say that, I don't mean win an 8-point game against the New York Giants, who happened to change their quarterback in the middle of the game. They suck. They blow. They're awful. I have no idea how they even have 5 wins. So I'm talking real buttons pushed where a light bulb goes off and they find an answer to one of the questions about the head coach. Does he have it in him? It's a fair question to ask. So everything that happened prior to San Fran was chapter 1. I'm on chapter 2. And I can't really reflect back on chapter 1 because we're no longer in that spot. We're done. It passed. It's over. We turned the page. I don't know if everyone believes and if everyone's buying into the head coach. Is it because you got the wrong players and the wrong leadership like A.J. Brown? And guess what? Unfortunately, in sports, it's a lot easier to change one man than it is to change 53. So who's the first to go when players decide to basically rule out whatever the head man is saying? The head coach goes. Something's wrong. And what you're doing is being blinded just because of their win total or just because you look around the league and see the Lions, the 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, and wonder if nobody's good. There's no one good in the NFC. And here's my bite back to this one. It's hard for me to get all excited because other teams have flaws. I'm focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's how my team operates. And you're lying to yourself if for some reason you think this offense is being maximized, if you think this is the best this offense can produce. And spare me, well, they're top 7 in the league in this, they're top 6 in the league in this, they're top 10 in the league in this. It's not telling the full story. And maybe it does mean the rest of the league isn't very good and there's not a lot of elite teams or, quote, serious teams, because I was filling in for the afternoon show on WIP today with John Johnson. It was a ton of fun. Thank you for all who reached out and enjoyed. And we asked, are the Eagles serious? And even with how negative I am, I still lean yes. Just by a hair, but I lean yes more than no. So I do still believe there's something. Maybe it's just talent. Their talent is better than the other team's talent. Doesn't mean they're getting the most out of their talent because Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson don't really have the answers with the schemes. And that's just me being honest. I don't care if other teams have flaws, even though I recognize that that's true. And maybe the Eagles are in the same category as the top NFC teams. And I think they are. I want to be better, though. I want to be the best team. I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't want to be in the same conversation as the Cowboys. I don't want to be in the same conversation as the Detroit Lions. You're right. You could say they're frauds. You could say they're not good enough. You could say you can't believe in them. Well, the Eagles are in the same exact position. Same position. They're in the same exact grouping. Maybe you could look at that positively because that means they're at the top of the NFC. Or, like me, I want to be the best. Now, I heard Elliott Shore-Parks try and actually bleed positivity. And same with Ike Reese. And I did everything in my power to try and absorb it. I swear, I don't want to be the Grinch. I don't want to be the guy that just gives you bad news. I don't want to be devastated discussing this team. I want to win. And not win like they did against the Giants where they have a billion issues. I can't stand this quote. If there weren't fluky turnovers. They're not fluky. They turn the ball over. And by the way, they don't actually get turnovers at all and put the offense in a good position whatsoever. They don't ever turn the other team over, defensively speaking. But they turn the ball over all the time. Well, if they didn't put the ball on the ground against this team, if they didn't do bad in the Dallas Cowboys side of the field, on their side of the field, if it's every game, they make costly mistakes, 3, 4, 5 of them every single game.